Okay, now, if you put low income jobs, right, in low income areas, then how are you then instilling wealth if you bring in low income jobs? So that's why I, for whom was in a union and was making a living wage, when the post office fired me for the second time, I understood the value of their mistake. See, so if I would have taken the money, how could I then bring high paying jobs to low income areas, right? So then when I saw the ignorance of the workforce, right? Because now it's been 15 years, so that's what I'm saying. I have to adjust the business plan to the tools that I have with me, right? So here it is. I'm trying to show these people what I'm doing, and they think I'm crazy. So I'm saying to the kids, right? How can I invest in you if your parents think I'm crazy? So now, if my truth is making your parents afraid, what they learning, you see what I'm saying? Whatever they learning, if the truth is making them afraid, then whatever they learning can't be true. Okay, do a mirror show itself? Right? When you look into a mirror, the mirror show you looking into it. So how the mirror showing itself? The mirror is projecting the image that's looking into the mirror. Now just could you imagine if the mirror saw its own reflection? What would the mirror see? A mirror of a mirror? Right? So if the truth is a reflection of God, why would the image that says it's God's projection, which is a minister, a rabbi, a pope, a monk, a deacon, a deaconess, evangelist, any kind of spiritual entity, why would it be afraid of the truth? If it's projecting the spiritual image of a deity, a God, and you scared of the truth, you should be the first one to recognize what you projecting, right? So if you a mirror of God, then why would you reject or be afraid of a truthful image? Right? That's like a mirror being afraid of its own reflection. It doesn't know it's a mirror. So then if a mirror show itself to itself, it'll be afraid of its reflection, but it's a reflector. It reflects its images. So the church should reflect the truth as the truth reflects the church. Right? So if the church rejects the truth, then is not the truth rejecting the church? Because it does not mirror one another. So now Jesus, right, when he was me, right, when he went into the temple, just like when I went into Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church, we both was rejected. That's in his testimony and it's in my testimony, right? But why can't people see that I went to where you was accepted, but my truth was rejected? So now, even if you don't believe when I was 6 years old and my testimony got me whooped, right? And Jesus was publicly flogged for his testimony. Well, why you can't see the similarities in our persecution? If I'm telling you I was persecuted the same place the scripture's saying that Jesus was persecuted. I'm saying, but when he was 12 years old, he was accepted. But when I was 6 years old, I was whooped, right? When I was 39 years old, I went back into Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church in Edenville, Florida, that married my wife and I on her 19th birthday to save that marriage, to save that union that he said God brought together two teenagers. And I did my job to keep that family and that union together. So I went back to that God, and that man turned his back on me, but he kept my wife and my two children. So now you telling me that when I read the Bible and Pharaoh said that look at these people growing, and that if my enemy come against me, then they'll help my enemy. So we need to deal with them. Now how? Then I don't see that man like I heard Pharaoh when I read his intentions. So why would this man now deny me access to the church but keep my wife and children? He got to know how valuable they were. He had to know, because I went to him and told him how valuable I was, and he was in there hugging Senator Bill Nelson, who I'm suing in the civil and criminal courthouses in Summerlin and Orange counties in the state of Florida for violating the Constitution that he took an oath to defend against all enemies, all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I took that same oath. So why would I respect someone who derelict on my duty? Understand, see, if you a regular citizen and you didn't take the oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, then I guess you're not, obligated to do something that you didn't take an oath to do. But if I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, then why would I then learn how to defend myself from the domestic enemy and then leave my neighbor to have to deal with the domestic enemy that I had learned how to deal with? Now, but when I'm learning how to deal with this domestic enemy, the Florida Constitution told me the value of my efforts, right? So now when they sent the IRS after me, what they did then was allow me to use my taxpayer Bill of Rights to then invoke Amendment 14, Section 4 of the Constitution. But see, this is what I'm telling these preachers and popes and ministers. I'm saying y'all arguing with the devil, but the laws here that you can now get the devil behind you. See, like Jesus said, but you got the children here in Lent. See, while y'all arguing over who right, the children out here in Lent, and the devil is now getting them to pay homage to him. See, our children is doing the devil's work while y'all ministers, popes, rabbis, deacons, preachers, reverends, whatever y'all are arguing over y'all father, y'all not being fathers to our children. See what I'm saying? And you gotta just look at it, man. Look at your argument, man. But why is our black farmers out here with no labor force, but prisons are full? Huh? You got prison ministries, but you're not going to these black farmers and taking these brothers and sisters out there and teaching them how to grow food and raise cows. And see, we don't need veterinarians per se. I mean, I'm talking about to go to school for it. You can go to school for it, but black farmers take care of their animals every day because they got to learn. See, where you think that knowledge came from? It came from our ancestors. Our ancestors had to keep the cows. That was their job, man. You see what I'm saying? But when those people let them go, they saw how vulnerable they were because they did everything. So now don't y'all see how they have transitioned to where now we don't know how to do nothing but make money, and then they know how to do what our ancestors see, and now they are charging us for the knowledge that we could have just went out back and taught to our granddaddy while he was doing it, and he would have taught us how to do it. See what I'm saying? Like they may have not had what you call education, but they had know-how. And that's what I'm telling y'all. Know-how is education. It's just that they didn't know how to read and they didn't know how to write. So they didn't know how to leave that knowledge, but they knew how to do it. And that's what I'm saying. Some of us know how to do it, but we ain't taking the time to write how to do it so we can then teach the next generation long after we gone what we did. See, man, we got to start understanding that knowledge was taken from us over time. So we gonna have to, over time, bring back that knowledge. See, those of us who can read and write, we gotta start being better scribes, man. We gotta start being better historians, because you can't learn something that ain't written.